You're watching Hot Ticket, your source for what's happening in Hampton Roads. I'm your host, Michelle Seeger. When did we become Americans? Scholars will gather from across the nation to discuss that very question at the 1619 The Making of America Conference. And coincidentally, we have a couple of those scholars who are coordinating the show here with us today to tell us all about it. Thank y'all for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you give us sort of an overview? What's this conference going to look like?
Well, this is our third year. We began in 2012, and we have a whole host of partners ranging from Hampton University to Old Dominion, Virginia Wesleyan, as well as community partners such as Project 1619, the Nottoway Indians of Virginia. And they've come together with us to look at this really important issue as we approach the 400th anniversary of 1619, which of course will be in 2019. And it is that year that we had some monumental things happen, which we're arguing began to make us who we are as Americans, and it really began to define Americans because, of course, when you're looking at language, you see the English and then you see Americanized English. And so what made us this Americanized English culture and society, and that is what this conference in part is about. But it's also to talk about these first groups of Africans who began arriving beginning in 1619 at Point Comfort, which was part of the Jamestown colony, which later became the colony of Virginia and the Commonwealth of Virginia, and how this transformed America in many ways.
So you all have a number of very eminent speakers on the docket for this.
Yes.
Can you tell us about some of them?
Yes, this year our focus is on culture. And we're very fortunate in continuing this tradition of getting some of the top international speakers. We have, for example, Professor Michael Gomez of New York University, who has written about the African backgrounds of identities in the South. He's one of the major scholars in the world on the African diaspora and its history and its facets. And one of the major speakers we have is Professor Benjamin Bowser, who comes from California, who has written a great deal about slavery and the slave trade, but he's going to speak about the history of hip-hop and gangsta rap and how indeed they have had an impact on modern culture. We also have Donna Gabaccia from Toronto University, who is going to talk about culinary backgrounds of the diaspora and of the colonial period.
There's even going to be a demonstration of food from the era?
Yes, we have Harold Caldwell, who will be coming from Colonial Williamsburg. He's the African American history interpreter who will be presenting colonial foods and how food really transformed American society. Think about the peanut. That's a perfect example. The peanut came from South America, and it was the Portuguese who took it over not only to the Iberian Peninsula, but to West Africa. But it was from West Africa that the peanut was brought here. And people don't even realize that Virginia, which produces what they call the Cadillac of all peanuts, did not originate here in Virginia.
This is so much to put into 3 days.
Yes.
And with one day being the tour.
Yes, in fact, we have the City of Hampton, the Tourism Bureau, who is co-sponsoring a tour. It's an all-day tour that begins at 8:30 a.m. You have a chance, it's a guided tour, by the way. Scholars and other community specialists will visit Fort Monroe and go to this place where Benjamin Butler declared the first groups of African Americans who were escaping as contrabands of war.
So much.
Yes.
Well, whether you're a scholar, a teacher, a history lover in general, you can get more information on this fascinating event at 1619makingofamerica.com. For Hot Ticket, I'm Michelle Seeger.